Hello, sixth graders. I come to you right now from, drum roll please, my very own living room. So maybe if you pay very close attention to what I'm about to teach you, and I mean very close attention, and I mean you could hear pin drop attention, then just maybe after I'm done, I will show you the statue that I won on The Price is Right, and my autographed picture of Bob Barker himself. But in order for that to happen, I need you to be hanging on my every word. So I felt like you guys needed a little bit more inspiration from some of the beloved authors that we read every day. So I have a few more leads or introductions from that book that I shared with you yesterday, that Jim Howe's story came from, which was called When I Was Younger. It's a compilation of all these different famous authors that have shared stories from when they were younger. So you should have the packet in front of you right now, and it looks like this. And I just wanted to walk you through a little bit of the first story to show you what I expect. As you know, when you first are looking at the lead, first just read it, just kind of take it in and enjoy the beginning of the story, and then go back the second time and read it and really analyze what is it that this author did that you might be able to try to use in your writing. So this first story on the front, Why I Never Ran Away from Home. This is written by Catherine Patterson. I'm a big fan of Catherine Patterson. She's written The Bridge from Terabithia, The Great Gilly Hopkins, both two awesome books. And this is a story from her childhood. So why don't you, since you have the packet in front of you, this first time we'll just read through it. There's a little bit on the front, and on the back there's a little bit more. So follow along as I read. Guess what? That's all my 9-year-old sister Lizzie had to say to get me excited. What? You'll never guess, Lizzie said. And I wouldn't. Lizzie was too smart for me. She'd skipped second grade, the one I was stumbling through. Everyone praised Lizzie. Mama depended on her to help with our two baby sisters. Complete strangers would stop Mama to say how pretty Lizzie was. Such darling freckles, they'd say. Lizzie would frown. She didn't think the freckles were darling, but I did. I wanted to be just like Lizzie. Smart, dependable, pretty. Even her brother Sonny thought she was terrific, and Sonny was 12 years old. What? I asked again. What? What? Tell me. We're going to see a moving picture show. The mothers are going to take us into Shanghai to see The Wizard of Oz. Lizzie knew all about The Wizard of Oz. She'd read the book. So I'm getting the feeling that this is a narrative that Catherine Patterson wrote about the first time maybe that she went to the theater, which way back then, way back in the day, this is when movies first came about, especially movies in color. So it sounds like this might be where the story's going. But now that we've read it, the introduction, just kind of to enjoy it, let's go back to the beginning again. And this time, and you can kind of see I already started annotating a little bit. This time I want to go through and I kind of want to analyze it a little bit further. What is it that Catherine Patterson did here that pulled us in, that got us to want to really hunker down and read this and read the entire story? So let's look at it again from the beginning. Guess what? That's all my 9-year-old sister Lizzie had to say to get me excited. What? You'll never guess, Lizzie said. Okay, so what I notice here and what I jotted down that you can jot down right now is that, yes, there's dialogue at the beginning. That's pretty obvious. But the dialogue is going back and forth between the two main characters. First Lizzie's sister, then Lizzie's sister again. And so that's one technique you might be able to use in your writing, is to have, if you have two main characters in the beginning, that you have a little back and forth dialogue. So I jotted just that. Dialogue from one character, dialogue from another. I'll give you a second to jot that down yourself. Okay, let me continue reading the next paragraph. You'll never guess, Lizzie said. And I wouldn't. Lizzie was too smart for me. She'd skipped second grade, the one I was stumbling through. Everyone praised Lizzie. Mama depended on her to help with our two baby sisters. Complete strangers would stop Mama to say how pretty Lizzie was. Okay, so I'm going to stop there because I'm noticing that right here we're getting some background information on Lizzie and her relationship with her sister. So I even wrote that in here. I kind of just put a bracket around this whole section and said that you're getting background on character information, on who these characters are. You're starting to see already that maybe there might be a little bit of jealousy, and there might be possibly a little bit of friction between the two characters because of this jealousy. So I noted that one thing that I could potentially do in my narrative is, one, I could start with a little dialogue between the two main characters, and then maybe after that, I could maybe back it up and give a little background information, some important information that you might need to know to understand who a character is. So what I'm going to have you to do with the remaining class time is to, one, finish Catherine Patterson's story, because I took some notes on the next page too, but I'm going to let you guys do that, and make some more notes on the lead as to what you noticed that Catherine Patterson did. What did she do? What techniques did she use that you could try? And then there's two more leads, one by Nicolas Amour and another by Francesca Lia Block. And so you can go through those as well and annotate them. Really read it first just to enjoy it, and then go back through a second time and really analyze it and say, what did this author do? And then jot those in the margins. So tomorrow I'm going to expect two things from everybody. One, I'm going to expect this. I'm going to expect all 3 stories to have been annotated. You can just write your name in the upper right hand corner, but what I'm really going to be looking for is how you've marked up the text and the comments that you make. You know, when I do this on a digital document, I just add the comments in. Well, since this is the hard copy, you will just write the comments in on the margins. Secondly, and most importantly, I'm going to be looking that you have your own 3 leads crafted. That's what you started yesterday, and most of you only got through 1. But I'm hoping that after today, after you have read even more and seen even more expert leads, that will encourage you and inspire you with your last 2 leads. And one more thing, keep this in mind. We talked about this a little bit yesterday. You can enter your story from different points. For example, Catherine Patterson she could have decided, you know what? I'm going to start this experience walking into the theater. She chose instead, for some reason, and I'm sure she had a reason, to start at home. But she could have started at a later time, at a different time. So consider that when you're crafting your 3 leads, that you could have different entry points into the story. All right. So Miss Evelyn, if there was anybody that wasn't paying attention, you can just put it on pause right now. However, if the class was paying super close attention, then my tour that I'm going to give of a couple different things around my apartment, you can continue and they can see. So let me take you. Oh, I'm like in my comfy, cozy couch. I always tell you about how I'm on my comfy, cozy couch and I'm curled up and reading. This is it. That's the couch. I just curl right up there, and that's a good Saturday afternoon right there. Have my coffee, have my blanket, have my book. It's the best. But let me take you over here and I'll show you. Well, first let me show you Annabella. Come here, Annabella. She's hideous. She really is. This is Annabella. You know what? It's an Armani statue. It's pretty ugly, but I have it proudly displayed on my bookshelf. And then, of course, Mr. Bob Barker himself. What's not to love? And one more thing, because I've told you so much about my grandmother and the day that I lost her, and she's been an integral role in the narrative that I'm writing. I have this wall over here. Hopefully you can see it, and I can get it aimed correctly. But that's a picture of my grandma when she was younger and on her wedding day, and that's my grandpa. This is like kind of a whole wall of just old pictures of my family, because I love my family and I hold them near and dear to my heart. So hopefully you enjoyed the tour, and I am asking of you, my very own class, that as you continue through the day, that even when I'm not there, you are acting and doing just as you should, as if I was standing by your side. All right? See you tomorrow. Bye.